could feel the game that was getting hold of me, my pressure and stress, and I was investing a lot, and it was wearing me down emotionally.
I am not a stranger to the dark.
I got back to smiling, I got back to loving the game, having fun, enjoying what I do, and yeah, you're under pressure, but I wanted to do it.
I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown a mind.
They work with me around my energy, what to give energy to, what to let go, and just to be me.
This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come.
Streaming through.
And I'm marching on to the beat I drum.
Bang! Bang, bang, bang!
This is possibly the best 17 minutes in the club's history.
But it took some adversity. It took missing the finals again last year before the players said enough's enough.
It's a brand new flag.
He was always so generous with us in the best of times, sharing the coaching journey and then the inevitable challenges that follow. So we thought we'd extend the invitation this year and ask if he'd like to share it with us every second week across the course of 2025. And I'm thrilled to say Simon Goodwin has accepted that, and here he is with us at the desk. Simon, thank you and welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Jared. Thanks, Gaz. And I guess when that was pitched to me about coming on the show and sharing that journey of a full season, I jumped at it. It was something that obviously a coaching gig can be really tough, but it can be really rewarding, and to take our viewers and everyone along that journey through the ups and the downs. And I've got no idea where this year's going to go, but hopefully I can share a lot as we go.
Where do we find you on the cusp of a season? What goes through you as you count your days to your first assignment?
Well, it's similar to a kid now at sports day where you can't participate. You've seen 2 games and you just want to get out there and see where you're at. And we've got 8 more games to get through, but all the preparation's done. The pre-season's done. The players are sick of training. They're ready to play, and we're looking forward to implementing the things they've been working on.
Why do you want to open yourself up in this manner?
Well, I think coaching can take you to some different places, as I said, and I remember when I first started coaching as an assistant coach at Essendon, and I ran into Dennis Pagan at a coffee shop. And I don't even know if Dennis would remember the story, but he said to me, "You want to be a senior coach, Simon Goodwin, do you?" And I said, "Yeah, I do." And he said, "Just remember, you'll have no friends and you'll be sitting on a park bench feeding the birds." At the time, I was like, this doesn't make much sense to me. And, as you coach for 8 or 9 years, you understand that what he was really talking about was it is a lonely job at times. It can take you to some dark places, but it is such a rewarding job as well, and I do love it.
What do you think of when you look at that, or the play on, which there'll be some saying you live it in the past, you're already replaying that, but that was 4 years ago to where you are now. What's that journey been like? Yeah,
look, it's no different in terms of the lead up to 21. There's adversity along a path to success, and sometimes in your darkest times is your biggest growth. And we've been through some pretty dark times as a footy club in recent times, and we're putting our hand up to say that we've got a lot of things wrong and we need to improve at every level of our footy club. And part of that adversity is growing, and we've been able to go about a pretty strong review and make some changes for this season.
There will be some that say they're platitudes and words. I think we have spoken over the journey on radios and whatever, and similar sentiments were also shared. Why is it different? What is different about right here, right now, ahead of a 2025 season?
Well, I think there's some acknowledgement and some accountability that's gone into it. There had to be some healing that's taken place, through the off-season and into the pre-season. And I'm talking about every level of the footy club. And I think when people are vulnerable enough to put their hand up and say they got things wrong, and to make amends, and there are some great people and some great relationships that have been formed over a long time, and there's a lot of goodness within our footy club, and it was about trying to reconnect that. And the proof will be in the pudding. We're coming up to the games now, and we need to go out there and be connected and play a way that is exciting, it's entertaining, and our fans love to come and watch.
We've got to get these out of the way early, Jared, because it's not going to be a Melbourne thing. But there will be people sitting there saying the Petrarca and Oliver situation, where does it sit? You're telling us it's better. We're telling they're in a great headspace. They're committed to the football club, but are they really? And are you absolutely confident that that's been put to bed? And how did you put it to bed?
Yeah, we are. As I said, there was some healing that needed to be done. It was about getting in a room together with a group of players in Bright on the pre-season camp and really setting the charter. And
how raw was it?
It was really raw. It was emotional, and that's the best way to describe it. And you don't want to go into the details about what was said, but it was about people, including myself, putting my hand up and saying, we haven't got everything right. We're human beings. We're different, but we get to hold the pen and write the next chapters. We get to write the story moving forward. And, it's amazing when people share their story, what's happening in their life away from the game, not only what's in the game, but how people connect again and how vulnerable they can be to start that journey. And forgiveness is done. And a lot of work's gone in the last 3 or 4 months with Ben Crowe and a whole range of people out of Footy Club to reconnect.
Have you felt at times since that premiership like a bit of a punching bag here and there?
Oh, I think when you're in the media as often as we were over the last couple of years, and from a lot of this on our own accord, there's a heaviness, and you feel like you're under pressure all the time. And as a coach and a leader, you feel that. You get through one situation and whack, you got another one on top of you. So it's felt like that. But I think Brad Green and the board have done a great job, in the off season to really give the club some clear air to focus on what's really important. And get back to focusing on what's really important, which is our footy.
When you are fighting battles on so many fronts as a footy club, that's surely counterintuitive to success, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think if you listen to any coach or any club that's had success, the biggest thing they talk about is alignment and being really clear about where we are as a footy club, how we're going to play, how we're going to lead, how we're going to speak, and making sure that everything in your area is under control. And we haven't had that, and that makes it really hard to have success on field.
Did you have any days where you thought, well, if I'm not going to be supported like this, I'm out?
Oh, I think there's no doubt you have doubts at times about your role within it. Whether you're the right person to continue to do the job that you love doing and that you've been in charge of for 7 or 8 years, and when it is that heavy, you have doubts about the love of doing the job as much as you do. But you soon work yourself through that really quickly. About I do love this job, I do love this footy club, I love the people, and I love everyone involved. And as I said, the darkest times can be your biggest growth, and that's the attitude we've taken.
Was there any stage the family came to you and said, Dad, enough?
Without doubt. When it became, about, yourself individually out there, it's tough on the family. I've got 3 kids, 23, 20, 17, and through those formative years, 3 or 4 years ago, there were some tough times, as a family. But once again, it's very similar to when you get through your hardest thing. The thing that gets you through your challenges in life is this word called love. And that's what the kids and everyone around me, my parents and everyone showed. And, they know you as a person and what you're about. And, without their support, I certainly wouldn't be sitting here now.
And to that end, you got married across the summer. Congratulations.
I did. Thank you. No, it was great. Chris is a wonderful woman. We got to share that with 160 guests in a little island in Bali. And the kids were all in the wedding, the 5 children. So it was a wonderful high throughout the summer and a great way to switch off from footy.
Does Chris have any background in footy prior to knowing you?
No, she hasn't. She's in the funds management business, so no real knowledge of footy, and she's got a fair knowledge now, and she's a great support. She's obviously a very successful woman herself in her own industry, so to bounce ideas off each other is great.
We don't want to go into the past from a presidential point of view, but how important was it to have Brad Green come out and really fly the flag for you recently? And he spoke to the fact that you're a legend of this football club, you're a premiership player, and that's been lost a bit over the past 3 or 4 years, and that you hadn't got the respect and kudos that you deserved. How important was this really public show of support?
Oh, look, I think it's great to hear it from your president, and Brad Green's someone that obviously I highly respect. He's been able to come in and really help stabilise the footy club, and obviously a past player, but to hear those words is nice. But it's not about me. It's about the collective, and it always is. I think as a coach, when things are good, you ride the wave up, and when things are bad, you're in the furnace. And for a long time, that's always been the case. But it is about the collective. But it is nice to hear those words from Brad Green.
How do you brace yourself for it, for the onslaught of what's about to come?
Yeah, look, it's something that's really exciting. Obviously, there's been a lot of preparation, but you know there's going to be some really good highs and ups in the way we play, but we're really focused on just trying to reach our potential, week after week and grow through the season. We know playing a different way throughout the season is going to be challenging at times, and we're going to have to explore how we continue to get better. But we think by the end of the year that we're going to be really forging a strong footy team and trying to reach our full potential.
Are you confident you've been able to right some of the wrongs or some of the challenges that the footy club's had over a number of years, specifically going forward? I mean, your midfield's been all-Australian quality for a long time. Your defence has been absolutely rock solid, but it is undeniable that it hasn't quite clicked since that premiership year. What have you done differently?
Yeah, look, we've looked at different ways to defend and also different ways to move the footy. We have been a team that's been, pretty easy to play against in recent times. So exploring different ways against different teams to move the ball and get effective ways to score is certainly an element of our game that we've certainly invested a lot of time into. And I'm sure in the first few weeks there'll be some teething problems with it because it's not ingrained in the way we want to do it. But we're going to keep going. We're going to keep forging ahead and try and play a different way and a new way and play an exciting way.
The opponent is a challenge. You would have saw them on Sunday. Gia and I were talking about it, whether is that a good thing or a bad thing that you're forewarned, forearmed?
Yeah, I went along. It was, geez, they were good. So probably you watch a little bit through the pre-season to see how they're tracking. And I think, when you watched them on Sunday, they had every phase of their game. Their pressure, their defence and their offence was exciting. So we know the challenge we're up against and we're looking forward to it.
So they didn't look like that in the Community Series, and Collingwood looked terrific, and that was the polar opposite. How do you... so you're optimistic. Can you have any surety about how you're going to play? Is all the work's been done, or is it a bit now as I hope this all pays off?
I think any game you go into, you feel like you're going to perform to a pretty high level, and when it doesn't happen, and that's when you've got to be really careful as a coach. What am I going to react to? What am I not going to react to? And how can I keep things nice and calm and level? And I'm sure Collingwood would have put in a power of work and they understand exactly how they want to play. The challenge for any coach is not to overreact and create something bigger than what it is. It's one game, it's 1 week, and I'm sure you'll see Collingwood respond in the right way.
And it's a special game. It's a significant game. We saw the launch yesterday of Jimmy Stynes. Are we actually wearing these?
We are.
Mikey. All right, the grand old flag. And this jumper looks absolutely sensational with the shamrock. So it is St Paddy's Day on Monday. It's acknowledging one of our greatest ever figures, and you want as many as you can to get down there.
Yeah, let's get down and support Jim. He's an iconic figure of our footy club, and he's given so much to the game, the Melbourne Footy Club, but not only at the game, off the field, he's just created an enormous legacy and foundation, so we want to raise as much funds for it as possible.
Simon, it's great to see you. Good luck for the next couple of weeks, and we'll see you in a fortnight.
Look forward to the journey.